our state representative, Jean Wu. Jean, I'm very distressed over this, and I'm very worked up as in I don't want to be. Hey, it's a Chinese New Year. We're supposed to be saying good things and being happy, but this direct attack on our community, on our heritage, on our race, or on all Asians, this is history repeating itself. Now, you also have some new information that you were sharing with me. Could you tell our audience how this is distressing? Could you tell us what just happened?
Yeah, I just got word that another Texas senator has filed a different bill to add all Texas farmland into a category called critical infrastructure that Chinese companies and nationals will not, and the same four countries, people from those same four countries will not be able to buy farmland because it will be considered critical infrastructure. Oh. So if you want to know how insane this is and what they really feel, that somehow a soybean field that is going to grow a crop that's going to be sent to China anyways is now critical infrastructure, and you forbid Chinese people or Russians or anybody else from being able to purchase it if you're from those countries.
That is ludicrous. This is just to how this does not benefit Texas or United States, period. This is, I mean, how, well, you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense because it does pander to a specific set of folks to make them feel better about, to pretend that this is not protecting anything. There's direct competition between corporations and between countries. This is direct a racist act. And this is only the beginning. If this is allowed, what you said earlier is so true. Whether it passes or not, the governor of this state is sitting there doing fundraisers, collecting money from our community. I've been to these fundraisers, big bucks, $5,000 a person, while they're taking money. And a lot of these are real estate developers. When they started out, they're immigrants. They're of Chinese descent or Persian descent. They're taking the money. Same thing with these.
Some of them are still Chinese citizens because you're actually allowed to donate money if you are a green card holder. If you're an LPR, you're allowed to donate money to parties.
You know, the irony, the farce of this, the double standards, because the fact that you're Asian American, the scrutiny on you is so much closer. Because I know personally that you have refused, even from my friends, you know, you're very stringent, you're very careful because you know the spotlight's on you, the McCarthyism, the insinuation, because you're Asian American, right? You're born and raised in Paso. You're as Texans as anyone, but they're going to say because of your color, your skin, they're going to look at you closely. But yet, this governor and these state reps from Fort Bend County are holding fundraisers. I want to tell you, I don't know if I told you this. 2 months ago in November, during the November election, I was invited indirectly to a Fort Bend County Republican Party election night party and fundraiser, I'm sorry, for the person running for county judge and for their ballot. Even then, I couldn't believe how far back we've gone compared to the last two election cycles. At this event where these candidates attended, every person that attended out of over 100, they're all Chinese Americans or Chinese residents in the county.
Yep.
They all paid to be there.
Yep.
At this event.
And this is their reward. This is their reward.
But yet these people, these candidates on stage, this is exactly what I recorded it. They used an accent. One of this was running for a very justice of the peace. He went on stage. Good old country American Caucasian person came up. I'm not gonna say his name. He lost. Said, me, no crime. You people all own property. No crime for you. Dropped the mic, walked off with an accent, with a smirk. And while the whole time these Chinese Americans are holding their signs on the stage, we've been to many campaign events. They're holding signs. And then on the buffet table is Oriental shrimp, Oriental chicken. Who still uses the word Oriental? That is so utterly
you're asking too much for them.
But the arrogance and who is allowing this to happen? It's our people. It's our people that's allowing this to happen.
The people who come to our communities and praise the immigrant community for making Texas so strong, for creating jobs, for putting so much wealth into this state. The same people who come and tell us how important the Chinese immigrant community is, they're the ones supporting this bill. They're the one pushing it out. They're the ones telling people that the Chinese people here who are in America are the enemy, right? And whether they come out and say it or not, their actions say it. When they don't come and condemn a bill, when they are quiet and silent, when there is a bill that targets Chinese permanent residents, then they are not really a friend. And everything they've said in the past was a lie. And I will say this. You know, if I had to say something to the Chinese Republicans in the community, I would say, you know, it's easy to be a friend and pat you on the back when things are good. But if you want to know who your real friends are, look at who's standing next to you when things are bad, when you're under attack. Look at who's around you. Do you see any Republican elected officials? Do you see them saying anything? The people who came to you and asked you for money and tell you how much they appreciate you, how much they love the Chinese immigrant community, do you see them saying anything? Do you see them standing with you? That's the real question for the community.
Gene,
why do you keep supporting people like that?
Understand that a lot of our immigrants, you know, this is a two-party system, right? I mean, you see the one, the other. When you talk about Republican Party, this is not the Republican Party of our parents, from the first generation immigrants from South, from North Asia, East Asia. This is not. Please don't get confused.
This is the Donald Trump Party. It's no longer Republican. This is just the Donald Trump Party, the party of fear, the party of hatred, the party of attacking immigrants and attacking Asian people. That's the Donald Trump Party.
To divide, and to make these races fight each other. What you said is not even as bad as the reality. Not only are they silent, they are actively condemning people like you or other community leaders, painting them as unpatriotic, or painting them even worse as enemies of the state, because you are fighting for the rights of our voters here, our local voters. Folks, if your parents are immigrants, which 90% of all Americans are immigrants, 99%. If you're an immigrant or you're a descendant of immigrant, if you're a new immigrant, if you're first generation, second generation, not even of Asian descent, if you're a Persian, Russian, Korean, Vietnamese, folks, get them out of office. This is in Fort Bend County, we have state reps wanting to have bills to condemn State Rep Gene Wu for standing with our people, to turn it around, the divide, and to accuse this is what do you call it? This is to me, there's like their leader, they're sociopaths. They think that the voters are ignorant. Okay, they're so arrogant in their way of, we're going to get elected anyway. Okay, you know what? This is the most diverse city, Sugar Land, the most diverse county, Fort Bend, but it doesn't matter. We're going to elect it anyway because we've been redistricted. No, folks, we have the power. Again, you have to stand up. Voting. You might vote in the next session, the next cycle, but right now, write them, email them. Even if you voted for them, you probably did vote for them because you want to protect, you want to lower taxes, you believe what their directive is always lower taxes.
No, it's even better if they voted for them. And what you should do is not only contact them repeatedly, over and over again, and say, I am your constituent. I live in your district and I voted for you. But if you support this law, if you vote for this law, if you help this law pass, I will not only not vote for you anymore, but I will support any opponent who runs against you. And that has to be that is the strongest statement you can make to an elected official. That if you do this, and the problem is the Chinese community has been too quiet. So much stuff has been done against the Chinese community, against the Asian community, against all immigrant communities. And everyone goes, okay, no, it's no problem. Keep punching me in the face. I don't mind. Okay. And this is a continuation of that. This is happening because we refuse to fight back. Because our community says to itself, no, we're just going to be good workers and we're going to make money and we'll be quiet. We won't protest. We won't complain. And we'll just sit here while you punch me in the face and we'll take it.
Gene,
and this is what happens when somebody is bullying you, someone's attacking you, and you say, oh, we don't mind. You think they're going to stop? You think they're going to stop punching you in the face? No, it's just basically you just say, no, keep doing it. I don't mind. Keep punching me in the face. I will continue to support you and give you money. And at some point, the community has to grow up and say, this is not the way you handle it. At some point, you will have to learn how to fight back, right? You look at the Black community, you look at the Hispanic community, you look at the LGBT community, you even look at the Muslim community. All those groups, over the years, they've been other people's punching bags, and you know who other people are. They've become their scapegoats, their punching bags. And over time, all those communities have learned over time or learned very quickly, we have to punch back. Because they will not stop punching you until they feel hurt. Until you hurt them back and say, okay, no more. So either we fight or we lay down.
That's it. I agree with you. For years, we've discussed this many times, even in private. The only reason why I right now I'm being defensive and I'm trying to justify it once again. I'm hoping that the second and third generation of Chinese immigrants, Asian immigrants will learn that after going through history class, citizen class, right? But then I also think about how our culture, where we come from, where our parents and grandparents came from. The Asian culture is to be quiet, put your head down, work hard, like you said, right? Because they come from regimes, they come from systems where it's not a democracy, where you don't have a voice. How long would it take for them to learn that? And then being immigrants is it's a privilege to vote. It's a privilege to know the different issues, to know which elected officials for you, because they have to work. When you're an immigrant, you sit down. That's what those Republicans are saying.
Yep.
It's weird, right? These are the people that are working and paying taxes and not committing crime. We've committed the lowest crime rate. We pay the most taxes, high income, highest education level. And yet these colonialism, these, the modern crusaders, I call them, they create this myth of model minority to pacify. And then to create conflict between Asian immigrants with the Black community, with they want to have turmoil, so you don't have time to see what they're doing. This top income, top 0.1 percenters, taking away things. When it benefits them, they will take your check. They would have in public saying how great it is. They will visit these Asian countries on the government's dime. But then they'll come back, keep doing this. Why? Because they think they're untouchable. They think that you will not unite and consolidate your vote. LGBT votes, Black vote, Latino vote, and the Asian vote should be together, because we are the minority group. We're the persecutor. We always have been and always will be the scapegoat. But being angry, you think that will work? You think telling our people, being angry at them, how do we get to them? Every time I attend these events and I see how they will pick a few straw Asians, especially the new immigrants, the ones from China where they want to be patted. They get a title of saying you're a liaison for this U.S. Congress office, or there's a reason why the Republican Party doesn't have our traditional leaders of the Asian community, civil leaders, the leaders that have been here for 30, 40 years. Why is that? Why are the ones in there are these new immigrants or these very fringe? They don't represent our community. There's a reason why they have to go there. They have no idea what really matters. They just want to get, the old Chinese way of thinking, right? Oh, the government, get pat on the head. No, it doesn't work like this. To get real progress, to go right, you consolidate your vote, and you have to vote for your votes. Gene, there is no
and that's part of the difficulty of what's happening right now. Is other communities have spent time building up their network and building up the organization. So, if you attack the Black community, you attack the Hispanic community, you will get an instant reaction, a harsh reaction right away. The Muslim community has been organizing itself for the past decade and doing a better job of it. And they have more groups, they have more organizations, they have more money put into it. Chinese, East Asian, we have a few groups, and they're very poorly funded, very poorly organized. We're split among too many different groups, and there's too many little groups here and there. And I think that's what they're counting on. They're counting on the fact that we are not able to respond. And that's why it's so important to show them that they're wrong. It's why it's so important to say, this is the time to speak up. This is the time to stand up and say, we will not take this.
Folks, this is not about politics, folks. You could be conservative. You could be conservative and still have that. This is somebody coming to take away your right as an American, your right to own land, to own property, your children's right, okay? This is for them to come in there and put you in internment camps. This is the beginning. This is not hyperbole. We're not making things up to scare you. This is not, because this is coming, because this happened before many times here in this country. And then you have these elected officials. Some of them claim to be Asian. Okay, if you're Asian and if you're of Asian descent, even a little bit of it, and you are not being just quiet, you're coming out to condemn leaders that are going against it, there's shame on you. This is so shameful. Your constituents, please, especially voters here in Fort Bend, in Austin and Dallas, where there's huge Asian populations, write to your elected officials, from your state to your local to your federal officials. And I will post a link. We have a change.org link for you to sign up. Put your real name. I mean, and show your kids. Set an example. Because what Gene said earlier about bullying, this is the perfect way I explain to my kids what's going on. It's a few bullies. These, go back to colonial time, the landowners, the guys that I'm a 5th generation Texan and my grandfather fought in the war from Mexico. These are the folks that's been here that already enjoy all the benefits, all the resource, right? They are afraid that you're going to take, because they didn't compete, right? They didn't want to get a higher education, or they're saying that, you know what, I'm gonna profit from y'all, right? And then, but now they feel like, you know what, I don't want to anymore. So now they're bullying all of y'all, but yet you are not allowing even this one person from your group being bullied to stand up, and they're ganging up on them, gang bullying, and you're not doing anything about it, right? And then this will happen to your kids, folks. Folks, this is what's happening at schools. This is what's happening. Your kids go to college, they get stabbed on the bus because they're Asian, okay? Your kids graduate, you're so happy they go to New York, get a great job. They push you off the train track.
Yeah.
When this happens to you, and then it's too late. It's too late. This is personal. This is personal. Okay, this is for the rights of an entire group. Please go out there and write and sign up. And you guys could all Google Rep. Gene Wu's office. He sends out information. He asks us people. He lets our community know what's going on. Go out there. Even if you just show up and support them, showing up is half the battle, right? Like today. And
we're going to have more town halls and more informational briefings about what's going on and how to do more. Just keep an eye on it. We're going to have more and more things for the community. The rest of the elected officials who support us, who want to help defend us, they're now starting to understand what this is. They're now starting to hear about it, and they're wanting to take more action, and they're going to put out more stuff. Don't just support me, support them as well. Help them help us.
Thank you. And when you talk about Muslims, it took them 20 years since 9/11. The amount of racism, hatred, and deaths, murders. And for us, in Detroit, Vincent Chin was 40 years ago, 50 years ago now, right?
50.
And we're organized finally. And yet we forget, this next generation forget what it took to be here. For you to work at Shell or Chevron, it took a class action lawsuit to allow them to hire us. For the colleges to accept you, your parents and grandparents to be, it's only one generation ago. And it could be like that. So you're sitting and driving your import car, living in a suburb, white collar job, thinking you deserve this, that this is something that is given to you. No, it wasn't given. It was fought for. Okay. Why are we having to fight for it again? Because are we so arrogant now? No. And Gene is the only Chinese American representative here in the state of Texas that is standing out for this. There are a few of them that are on the other side. And whether they're silent or even actively supporting this Bill 147 is ridiculous. We need to get them out of office, or at least we need to condemn them, because you cannot say that you want to save taxes and lower crime and let you make more money while allowing this to happen. This doesn't, it's not parallel. It doesn't work this way. You cannot have both. You cannot. And Gene, please keep us updated. And I know you have to be in Austin for the legislative session. When does it end? The session is
in the end of May. For June.
End of May. Okay. Yeah. I know this is very, very busy times for you, and yet you're still coming back to Houston. You're still doing this.
Happy to. And happy to keep everyone updated on what's going on in the legislature. It's important for the Asian community to know what your own government is doing. I would be happy to come back and keep everyone up to date. If you have extra questions about, you want to know something about the government, about the legislature, about Texas, and you don't know the answer, send the question to Jimmy, and I'll come on here to answer it.
Yes, please. We're going to have to continue this conversation more and more, because I realize you're right about the segment that, look, I understand when you say Muslim community, LGBT community, Black community, how the same example I used for years. Oh, you cannot attack them, or the Jewish community, because they will unite and they will fight back, and then the bullying will stop. Well, our community, the divide is not just created by the model minority myth. It's also because we do have a lot of the. This is the East Asians are.
It happens partly because we allow it to happen.
Yes,
we allow this to happen.
We do.
And because we think that our community thinks that just being rich or being successful is going to save you. And I've been telling people over and over again, at the end, none of that will protect you. Because when they come after you, when they discriminate against not you, but your children, your money and everything else, none of that will save you. Only political power will save you.
This is your civil rights. This is your rights as a citizen, as an American.
That's exactly right.
Don't let them take it away, please. Please, because this is the beginning. And for this to even for the government to even say they'll sign it, for a person, for an elected official to even bring this up without consequences, because even if 10, 15 years ago, both parties from across the aisle should immediately condemn this racist elected official for Benham. This should have been cut off. It shouldn't even be in the news. It should be done. Yeah. She should know better. But yet, because of this environment, because of what happened the past 6, 7 years, the divisive politics of hatred.
I want to make sure, we want to be clear, this is not about me. This is not about Jimmy, right? This is for my kids. This is for my boys. This is about Jimmy's kids, right? This is about building a future where they don't become targets of hate. This is about a future where people don't try to physically attack them because of the way they look, because they know that they're Asian. This is about a future where all of our children have a fair shot at the world and have the same opportunities as everyone else. And either you can fight for it again, or you can lay down. And whatever happens, happens.
Gene, our parents, grandparents, and millions of other Asian American immigrants already fought after World War II, from the Korean War to the Vietnam War to the Japanese invasion to the communist takeover. It's enough. It's generations of torn up families and deaths and pain. We came here. This is our home. We're Americans.
Absolutely.
We contribute just as much. We teach our kids that. Don't let them take this away. And Gene, thank you for standing out, because I like I tell our audience, you've been elected how many terms now? You doing this does not help yourself. Your 6th term. This doesn't help your office. It doesn't help. No, this actually creates a target for them. This is extra work. That's what the bullies do. The bullies do that. They're attacking him. No, this is beside that I know that Gene has been fighting for so long. This is where are we to defend the one person that is standing up to take this flake? This is ridiculous. Please get angry, folks.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry, Jimmy. Don't worry about me. All right. I'm prepared to take whatever hits come. That's part of my job, and I'm used to it. Let's focus on the community and focus on making sure everyone in the community knows how to stand up for themselves and knows the reason why they need to stand up. People attack me all the time for no reason, for some reason, I don't care, right? That's my job. My job is to take the shots for you. But I want you to go out there and educate yourself, educate your whole family, educate all your friends, and get them active. Don't just sit there and get punched in the face.
Yes, please have a conversation about this. This does affect you. This is not some faraway law in D.C. or in other states. This is happening here next to you.
And I want to be very clear about this. We've been told point blank, this is a test bill. If this passes in Texas, they're going to pass it in a lot of other states. Okay? I want to be very clear about that. Even if you are listening from another state, you need to get active. You need to call your state representative and call your senator and call your congressman and tell them, you see what's happening in Texas? If you do that, I will vote against you. If you support something like that in whatever state you're in, I will vote against you. And that needs to be absolutely 100% clear.
Thank you, Gene. That is a very good point. You know, this, I'm so worried. This is one after the other. You know, since COVID, since Trump, is one hit after the other, and it's getting worse and worse. I mean, where do we go from here? Gene, thank you so much. Have a great session in Austin. We will see you very soon, and we need to continue this discussion to bring awareness, bring understanding, and please send me email. You guys know my number. You guys know our channel.
Yeah.
Get on, leave message, live chat, anytime. I will send all the information. Gene has answers everything. Literally, he will research, he will tell you the truth. And please, this is not about politics anymore. This is not about party affiliation. This is about your kids and your civil rights and racism and xenophobia. Okay, Gene, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, happy Lunar New Year to all our viewers out there. 新年快乐. Thank you, Gene.